Well, hello there, Jada, and welcome back to the news cycle. I'm not sure this is why you want to be here, but this is a little bit different than why you were here before. That's a little bit of humor there. A bit of a disclaimer: I have not watched the Cleopatra documentary. I've been watching everyone else's commentary on it, and so I've been watching from a safe distance. But based upon what I've seen, I am not interested in watching it. And I will describe that at the end of this video. I'm going to read an article here, which I think captures the, the controversy surrounding Jada Pinkett's Cleopatra documentary. This is from the Independent News. I'm not familiar with this periodical. This is interesting because it was written by Asir Fatigar, and as I'll describe, this documentary, the way that it was constructed, and the figure that it focused on, and the way that they portrayed her, this pulled in interested parties from the Middle East. And so that's why, as I'm looking at the author of this article, Asir Fatigar, I'm not surprised. This is a fascinating thing, and it's really, really fascinating to see how, or to hear individuals from other countries weigh in on commonplace discussions that we have here in the United States and white supremacy and all things related to white supremacy. That's a part of the lexicon in the United States in 2023. So this article is entitled, Jada Pinkett Smith Claims Her Cleopatra Documentary Failed Due to White Supremacism. See, here in the United States, we say white supremacy. So I may adjust some of the wording as I read through this piece. This is a short piece, but from what I've seen thus far, it's well written. Okay. The infamous Jada Pinkett Smith recently stated that her flop of a documentary, Cleopatra, is failing due to white supremacism. However, the internet is vehemently disagreeing with her as Egyptians claim she is blackwashing Egyptian culture. Furthermore, her sour relationship with Will Smith is also another reason why many dislike her. I've never heard that term before. Blackwashing a culture. I've heard of whitewashing a culture, and I've heard of cultural appropriation, but I've never heard of blackwashing a culture. An article from The People's Voice states, in an attempt to promote Jada Smith's own woke agenda, she puts pressure on the show's producer to change Cleopatra's race to align with her own. However, the show has a number of errors, such as incorrect costumes, inaccurate timelines of battles like Actium, and misplacement of Cleopatra at events she did not attend. There is also confusion between actions attributed to Antony and Octavian, which have made it virtually unwatchable. Statements that no experts or even individuals with a basic knowledge of the historical context are also working on the production. So this next section is subtitled, Jada Pinkett Smith blames white supremacist on her historically inaccurate documentary's flop. I wonder if that means Jada Pinkett Smith blames white supremacists on her historically inaccurate documentary's flop. This article is below in the description box, and at this point it has screenshots of tweets from numerous individuals. I'm not going to read those, just the text. One user states that it is logical that Egyptians are white supremacists despite them not even being white. Furthermore, the user adds that this is what she gets for erasing an entire race of people just because her grandmother told her Cleopatra was black. More users state that the whole world is not caring for her documentary due to the fact that everyone knows that Cleopatra was not black. Following that, Twitter users state that the exact same reaction will be done if a documentary places Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as a white man. There are some internet users that are fed up with the woke community, blaming their failures on racism. Furthermore, another Twitter user jokes that she injured herself and blamed it on racism. There are plenty of credible black directors and actors that are successful. This is especially due to their talents. This was a short piece, and that's good for me, but I think it captures the controversy surrounding this documentary. What I'm seeing is that Jada and the creative staff for this wanted to reimagine Cleopatra so that she looks more African or African American. Well, actually, Egyptians, they might not consider themselves to be African, but they're on the African continent. This is very, very complicated. They wanted to reimagine her so that she is brown skinned with the hair of the texture of Southern Africans and African Americans, and it looks like Egyptians and other communities of people around the world have taken umbrage with that, and they are unhappy with this portrayal of Cleopatra. And it looks like that the accuracy of this documentary is in question. It's a very, very interesting turn of events. Jada must have predicted something like this in today's world, especially with social media. So there are a couple things that I wrote down here. I don't think this is new. As you know, every April we have the Easter holiday, and that brings with it the showing of the Ten Commandments, starring Charlton Heston and Yul Brynner. I actually took a couple of pictures of the screen while that was showing, and I think I might have tweeted here. I think I might have tweeted, is this what Egyptians and Israelites looked like? Did Moses really look like Charlton Heston? Did Ramses actually look like Yul Brynner? Did his father look like a European man? So I noticed that about the Ten Commandments. In the 1990s, in conscious hip hop, and also in Spike Lee's Malcolm X, the whole question over what Jesus looked like came up. Was Jesus white with blonde hair and blue eyes, or was his skin the color of bronze and his hair the texture of lamb's wool? That's always been around. And then the latest controversy involved Viola Davis's Woman King, which got destroyed because of its depiction of the Dahomey, and because of its seemingly not so accurate depiction of the Dahomey, among other things associated with the film. I'm not beating the film up. I'm just capturing what people's gripes with it were. So I think one of the things that I'm seeing here is that there is an issue and there is a potential danger in quote unquote reimagining things. Now, Cleopatra, Elizabeth Taylor originally portrayed her, and I think that was offensive to some people. So it kind of makes sense that the pendulum would potentially swing back in the other way to make her more Afrocentric. But I think the bottom line here is that whenever you create something historically based, I think you want to be I think you want to be as historically accurate as possible. Yeah. And it's also interesting that the Egyptians, who in that corner of Africa, they're arguably more Arabic than they are African. At least I'm thinking about individuals in the Congo and the Ivory Coast and South Africa. The Egyptians probably have more in common with the Saudis and individuals from Tunisia and Lebanon and Iran and Iraq. It's interesting that there would be such a strong reaction to Jada's documentary, because they're clearly saying we don't want this particular character from history portrayed this way. She didn't look like that. Anyhow, let me know what you think in the comments section below. This is Big Discussions 76 Entertainment and Media. First of all, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. If you want to donate something to the channel, that information is below in the description box. Finally, please consider joining the Big Words LLC Newsletter. In addition to being a YouTube content creator, I'm also a writer with 2 blogs and a book project on the way. And with that, I will stop this here. As always, everyone, stay safe out there. And always remember that your attitude determines your altitude. And always try to do your best. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.